Blessings and respect. Wagwan, wagwan, wagwan. What's going on? People from America, Jamaica, Canada, and all over the world. Wagwan. It is Amaziyah the Great. I am here on another TDP show. Big respect to everybody who is in the building. I see Clarise already on here. It's about interacting with people all over the globe. We got some fans watching from all over. We also have some guests from Florida, Nigeria, Rhode Island, all over the world, all over the world. So let me put this phone right here so look a bit. So Crazy Media, go on. Maximum respect, Steve. Big up on yourself. Go and lock it down in a JA. But they are saying in the United States of A. I go and lock it right now. To the TDP show. Tell them precisely. So for the ones, you can jump over to my youtube.com/Great Amaziyah and tune in for the show. You get what I say? So big respect to all you people all over. Yes, so from Sonia, I see you inboxing me message, said it's 5 o'clock. I am on. Clarise is also on. I see Pocket Poetry on also. So maximum respect. Loud and clear, loud and clear. Queen, Atara, maximum respect. I also see you. It's the TDP show. Tell them precisely. I'm your host, Amaziyah the Great. Make no mistake. We tell them, say we do everything to amaze, amuse, entertain, educate people all over the world. That's the main thing, because over the years we see we are too much negative energy being pushed on to our youth. But at the same time, there are them and those who have to, give the youth them positive vibration. Clarice, I see you, but I see Uche all the way from Uche, let me bring you on screen. But before I do that, I need to remind the people what is going on.
They say it's a free world, free speech. Fear not. If you've got your story to share, there's a global audience anticipating to hear. Be bold, be truthful. Tell them precisely. Join us on youtube.com, Great Amaziyah, for the TDP show. Sundays at 5 p.m. And this is not about just interviewing artists only, but we want to interview everybody. Players of instruments, comedians, poets, actors, actresses, dancers, people with talents who now get fair share. And remember, it's all about honesty, the truth about your opinion. We want the world to know. Amaziyah the Great, tell them precisely.
Tell them precisely. So I have a legend, a great, person who you should know. Most of you people in Jamaica might not know him. I've known about him since, past year or two. Sonia Patterson introduced me to this brother. He is an icon. He's a legend. He have been making films entertaining a wide audience. And they have the Cheaters Paradise International Award. And Mr. Uche will tell us more about that. So let me introduce him to screen without further delay. General.
Brethren, I salute you.
What going, brother?
Yeah, right, man. Nothing I go on.
It's a pleasure to have such icon in the business on our TDP show. Tell them precisely. How are you doing?
We're doing wonderful. It's a great pleasure being here, everybody. I just want to say peace to everybody out there. And we love y'all.
I see you got a lot of things going on, Uche. I see the movies, I see the awards, I see so many different things. I'm happy to have you here. Let me say Sonia talks highly about you. And I have to say hats off to her, maximum respect, because she's been spreading the word ever since, you guys came in contact. And I am happy to be in association with the whole team.
Yeah, Sonia Patterson is a great woman with a great heart. As a matter of fact, Sonia Patterson is one woman that if she has the power, she wants to change the world to a better place, you know. But being that the world is very big, she's taking it quite step by step, and she's trying to get across home, to the roots, to Africa, where we all supposedly come from. You know, she has pet projects in Nigeria, she has in Ghana, and cutting across so many other nations, even in Jamaica, which is back home. She has kids that she's looking after. She has less privileged women and men that she's caring, giving food, giving little money here and there from her in money. You know, she's a hustler like every other person. She works, makes money, takes care of her kids, and she still be able to set aside some for the less privileged. So that's how our paths connected, and we have a common idea. And she also loves entertainment. And gradually, we started. We talked about it was like a joke, you know, Cheetah's Paradise. And before we know it, one step to the other, before we know it, we got to a place and the project was given birth to. And that's just the beginning of the many projects that she's going to be involved in. Some are being, some might not be, because we have a lot of people that needs to be given opportunity to grow. So that's it.
Interesting. So much for her. She will also be joining us soon. Also another team member of yours, Hola Dennis. But before I elaborated more on them, let our audience know who is, Uche. You have been doing tremendous work. A lot of people know about you. A lot still don't know about you. What would you want to tell them who Uche is?
Okay, Uche, it's simply Uche Odoputa as I'm presently known and constituted. An actor and a filmmaker. I started off primarily as an actor, then trained as a producer, then also trained as a director. I was trained by one of the best called late Mrs. Amaka Igwe. She trained me as a director and as a producer. And I will call myself one of the first, the pioneers of what is known today as Nollywood industry, because we did the first set of movies that came out that gave birth to the phenomenon called Nollywood today. I'm talking about over 30 years ago. We did I started doing a film like Evil Passion, Circle of Doom, from there coming up to doing so many other movies, Last Flight to Abuja, Husbands of Lagos, so many other movies that I can't even remember, Rattlesnake, Fuji House of Promotion, Man Picking as one of the series that I just did right now. The third season just came out right now on Rock TV. So that's what I've been doing all my life basically. Then I produce my own movies. Sometimes I direct movies for myself and for other people too. Then I'm also I live in the UK. Then I work. Yeah, because you have to earn a living. Then I also have a charity company. I also have a charity outfit of myself called the Uche Odoputa Foundation, which is registered and it has a website. It's called www.ucheodoputa.foundation.org. And our primary responsibility is looking after less privileged widows and their children, education, health, and empowerment. So that's basically what I do, and I believe in content creation. I believe in films. I believe in acting. Acting is my life. It's called to duty for me. So that's what I do, ladies and gentlemen, and so many other things. Yes.
Yes, you are doing tremendous work in the fields, Yuchi, and I really appreciate the fact that you also not just you're not a selfish person. You engage with people all over. I do appreciate that. The fact that you work with Sonia still speaks volume. The fact that you work with lots of talents all over, it's really fascinating. Sonia emphasized on one fact that she can't wait for us to link up in Nigeria for me, you, her to do some great works, and that would be a phenomenal moment. I anticipate that time. So, we speak things into existence. I see her in studio as I talk about her. Sonia, me just a chat you. Me I say you say good things about me, and it's a pleasure. You get me? It's been a while. Sonia been telling me, yo, I think me, you, and Uche could come up with something great, because I too do short movies. I'm yet to do my feature, but you know the journey continues, and you never know. It's a pleasure for us all to be in this space here, talking about what we do, and not just about ourselves. It's about the impact we leave on people's life. It's the motivation we enforce on them. And I congratulate you for the great works you are still doing.
Thank you. And you know that one place that I want to go, I keep saying it to people that if I die and I don't come to Jamaica, that shouldn't bury me. I'm not dead yet. I need to visit Jamaica.
Yes, you do really need to visit Jamaica. It's a phenomenal place. It's not. Sometimes they publicize all negative things about Jamaica, but in everywhere in the world there's good, the bad, and the ugly.
But something like Nigeria too.
Yes. So before I say anything further, let me try see if I can run to one of your snippets. Let people can see what we are talking about you and the whole film industry, Nollywood / filmmaking thing. And maximum respect to Sonia. I can't thank you enough, but it's a good link, it's a good show, and I really appreciate the vibe. Please hold.
You think you're smart?
You should please stop threatening my angel. What is it now? I'll get it.
Is this a joke or what?
Sonia, what is it?
You must be very stupid to call to warn me instead of apologizing.
Apologize? Did you say apologize for what?
For cheating on me.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Hey.
And allowing your little brat, Sharon, to insult me.
Sonia, there will not be any apology. You hear me? There will not be any apology. After all, the first time I apologized. But what did you do? You still did what you have in mind.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I did that. So you won't cheat on me again.
Hello? Sonia, hold on. Let me answer my angel. Hello, baby. How are you?
Is this a joke or what?
Sugar, the voice in the background seems familiar.
Yes, you're correct. It's Sonia's voice you are hearing. I'm on the other phone with her. But don't worry.
That non-living thing?
Yes, the non-living thing.
You must be mad. You must be mad to let she call me that name again. Are you crazy?
Listen, don't mind her, okay? Don't mind her, honey.
Okay.
You allow this little brat,
Yes. So that's a little snippets of Uche's production. Uche, that was something, I had to pull up and say, I will want you to talk more about this. So why were you cheating on? Hold on a second. Before you say a word, let me introduce to you another phenomenal person, a person of being truly, kind, truly motivating. I spoke of her last week about you know what Sonia did? Sonia called me one day in the pandemic and says, Amaziyah, I need to send you some money to get some groceries for those who need it. And I mentioned to my fans at the time I really need it, but I could not take it. So when she said, go buy some groceries and give to these people, the elderly, remember, she doesn't know them. But she said, Amaziyah, I'm reaching out to your community. And when I told my Uncle Barry, hey, we're just going to take some of these groceries because, you know, we need it. We are needed. And, you know, I said, no, you know, I can't do that. So I recorded everything and we go to these places. We delivered it and they were really happy and excited about it. And, you know, the amazing thing is after we deliver all those stuff, you know, my dad was in need for some things at the hospital. And Sonia had blessed me tremendously more than the money that we had to spend on foods for the community. So that goes to show anyone out there who is watching this, whenever you're to do something, do it and do not take from it. Do it willingly and you will be blessed. Anyway, let me just bring her up and scream. Look a bit. Okay. Sonia Patterson cares. How are you doing there?
Hi, how are you?
Well,
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Welcome to the live, Sonia. We were just talking about you. Uche talk phenomenal things about you.
We're gossiping about you.
Oh my God.
It's a pleasure to have you here, Sonia. Just say hello to the fans, my fans, your fans, the whole Nigeria, Jamaica, US. Big them up.
Yeah, man. Respect to everybody. I know a lot of them trying to come online, but I don't know what happened. Ola and me was waiting, Ola Daniels, and I still don't see her online. So I'm wondering if she's having a little problem. I don't know. It surprised me. Pardon me?
I'm not certain what happened, but as long as she clicked the link, we will see her in studio and then I can invite her in.
Yeah, because she was waiting with me before Uche. So Uche reached before her. I don't know what happened.
Okay. I'm not certain either.
Is there any way I could come off and come back just to tell her again?
Before you come off, Sonia, I really want to know. I know already. Just tell the fans who you are briefly, and then you know we can join you back after you try to get to her.
Okay, I'm Sonia Patterson Cares, and I'm the CEO of Cheetah's Paradise and the president of Sonia Patterson Care Foundation. And you know, everybody know what I do. I help the children, help the elderly. You know, I'm looking forward to go to Africa in a couple of days to start my humanitarian service. I'm starting in Ghana and then I fly over to Nigeria. So it's going to be a big thing. You will definitely get feedback on that.
Happy to hear. But Sonia, we want to hear more on your journey, what you've been doing and what you're about to do. So yes, you can exit the live for a minute and then, you know, be back with here to continue the show.
How do I exit?
Okay, let me see.
Oh God.
Let me see if I can do that. Oh, she's gone already. Okay. Yes, Uche. So, filmmaking. Why did you choose filmmaking of all the areas in the entertainment industry? Why films?
What actually happened is, where I come from, Nigeria, sometimes hunger brings out your talent. Hunger brings out your talent. You know, for some of us, when we left school after graduating through the university, and you start looking for jobs and you're not getting jobs, and somehow you find yourself picking up things. That's how we got so many comedians from Nigeria right now, stand-up comedians. They started cracking jokes out of the fact that they couldn't get jobs. And before you know it, they started developing that act very well. So for me, when I finished school, coincidentally, my uncle happens to be the man that produced the first ever film that was produced in Nigeria, which was Living in Bondage. Well, when I mean first ever film in this Nollywood era, not before that, and there were the telenovela movies and all that. There were the Ogundes and other movies and all that, they were done, especially in the West. But in the phenomenon called Nollywood, my uncle, Okechukwu Ogunjafo, who played the Polo character in the film called Living in Bondage, was the person who produced that film. So as he was producing his second film the year after Living in Bondage, I went visiting him, and I was in his house, and somebody was supposed to play a role, and the person wasn't getting the character. And somewhere along the line, I spoke about it, and I didn't know the director heard me. That was how the director said, "Are you sure you can do it?" I said I could try. I gave it a shot, and I did it well. That's how I took the guy's role, and that's why I started acting. But way before that time, way back, I've acted in so many other stage dramas and all that. There was a popular telenovela that went on in Nigeria at the time called Pot of Life. I acted in that Pot of Life that was done in Benin City, in a place called Edo State in Nigeria. So acting has been my thing, but he has accidentally walked into it, and it became a career for me, and that's it. I think I enjoy it.
Okay. As I scroll through, there's a comment on the screen for you from Lori M. She said it's an honor to learn about you, because our people need to know more about us. We will be doing these programs, we'll be doing these short movies or feature movies, and they never been seen because we don't really have much people vlogging about these things, help to highlight these things, broadcast these things, writing about these things. Instead of that, I see where a lot of persons just want to copy and not try to promote the authentic stuff, the stuff that we do. We could be having close friends who we think are really close, but sometimes it seems like they're the furthest, never once give you encouraging words yet. And we do have family members at times who they will never click like, comment, nor share, but they will do that on the big celebrities. Is that the same things that you experience making movies?
Oh yeah. Tell you what, in Nigeria we have three major groups, major languages, tribal languages or tribes in Nigeria. We have the Igbos, we have the Hausas, we have the Yorubas. I'm an Igbo man, and it's really unfortunate that the only people that patronizes their own product very well are the Yoruba people. The Yoruba movie still sells. A Yoruba person will buy over 10, walk into a shop and buy over 10 movies, and 9 of them will be Yoruba movies, Yoruba speaking dialect movies. But if you do an Igbo film, most Igbo guys will not watch it. Most Igbo guys will not pick it.
Yes.
Okay?
There are times I see Sonia even posting the same, contents in the WhatsApp group, and she be asking people, "Hey, can you watch this?" Now,
yes,
it is very, as for me, as an inner city youth, because I'm from Spanish Town Garrison, and I try my best to stay on the positive side. There are many negative energy that surrounds, but I try, my hardest to stay focused, stay out of the gangs, the crews, the drugs, the guns. And I always try to tell, our youth especially, be on the positive path, because, all negativity and darkness will, leave a bitter end. And for us to be creating movies, we tell stories, and it's also bringing people awareness, because some people are not, accustomed to some of the things we experience. Yeah. And I always try to tell our youth, there is so much more you can do as a person, being creative within self. Try to identify the talents you have. When I see a youth, she put out a film. I've known Sonia before she became an actress. And, she was always still keeping events. the Portland Curry Fest, the Minimis Portland, and me, Marcus, my sister Quality, we would be there supporting. And it's the passion of how she do things and what she have for the arts make me say I want to be part of whatever she's doing. And one thing she says to me, Amaziyah, anywhere in the world I go, even if I don't go there, my voice will go there and I will talk about you. And she never stops. And she kept her promise. And I must say again, thanks, because thanks can't be too much. But these are the things that motivate me to continue to do greatness. When she told me of a Uche and I saw your works, I say, yes, I have to have you on board. At one point I said, I could only speak with him alone because it's a jam-packed live. But at the end of the day, she said, Amaziyah, you really have to speak with Miss Dennis. You really have to talk to, other persons. And I say, well, the show will be every Sunday. So at any time, we would still want to interact with more people, from Nigeria, whether it be Ghana, whether it be the UK. And, the salutation is tremendous.
Yeah, and I would like to come all the time. Anytime you want me to come, just tell me on time. We'll structure it, and once it sits into my time, yeah, why not? Sometimes we could come talk about culture. We can talk about anything. We just could talk about films. We could talk about. Sometimes we could talk about mentoring people, teaching them a little bit of tricks about acting and all that. So I'm open to imparting my word. That's all I want to do. Nobody's going to live here forever. The best we can do right now is leverage on the time that God has given to us to see how we can let somebody miss us when we're gone for good.
Okay. Mr. Uche, we want to hear, what was your biggest films and what's it's like now? What's the feedback you'll be getting? But after I go to this break, you can elaborate more on that.
Okay.
She was young. She was beautiful. She left her home that day never knowing that this would be her final goodbye to her friends and her family. She was kidnapped, she was assaulted, and she was disposed of in a matter of days as desperate searches went on with her friends, her family, other women, and the region looking on in hopes that she would be found alive. She was helpless, and against our best efforts, so were we. Now, the gravity of the situation is that her identity depends on which island you've been in over the past months. She is Ashanti Riley. She is Evelyn Sincere. She is Carrie Ann Hunter. She is Kanice Jackson. She is Andrea Barak. She is Stephanie Thomas. And as unsettling as it may seem, every day that list ends with a comma, not a full stop.
Yes. Welcome back to the show, people. We have here Mr. Uche, Nigerian Nollywood filmmaker, now resides in the UK, but still keep a connection within the US, within the UK, within Jamaica, within Africa. Maximum respect and salute. Again, I was asking earlier, what is your biggest film so far? And after you tell us your biggest films, you can elaborate on, the trials that you went through, that you encounter, and what made you continue. Because I don't know if there were times when you say, hey, this seems like it's not working for me, but I still got to pull on through. What's your biggest films and what's the biggest task you experience?
Oh, well, every film that I've done is big in its own capacity because every film is a project. And every project needs not just your physical, it needs a mental, psychological evaluation. It means that you have to take out your original self and wear the character that you're going to play in that movie. It means that you first and foremost read the script from an actor's angle. Then now read the script the second time from a writer's angle to catch the vision of the writer. Then you now read the script the third time again to now get a characterization. Now, before you read it the third time, you have to shut down yourself and think about the story you have read, think about the character and people that you have met that connects a little bit to that character. You begin to pick and borrow from those people to build a seemingly perfect characterization for that character in the movie. So that by the time you read it the third time, you're now having an impression and an image built inside your field that you're going to now play to come out. Therefore, what am I trying to say in effect is that no story that I've ever done that was bigger than the other. They were all peculiarly big in their capacity for the story that has been written and given to me. But talk about one of the biggest challenges that I've ever encountered is having to produce your movie and not seeing where to distribute it to turn it into money. You take it everywhere you go to, they tell you this, they tell you that. Some people will say to you, oh, because you didn't use this number of known faces, because you didn't use that number of known faces and all that, or because there's this particular noise issue in the movie, they're not going to take it. And what we're talking about is that you spent close to about maybe over $10,000 to do a movie. And this movie is tied in your hand, and maybe you borrowed money to do it. What are you going to do? It takes the grace of God not for you not to fall into depression. Not once did this happen, not twice, but then it is what it is. We can't give up. The thing is that the passion and the love we have for our craft is what is the biggest thing. That's our driving force. That's my driving force. So no matter what anybody do, push me there, push me here, I'll still be an actor and I'll still want to act and make movies till I die.
Thank you so very much for that. So if you were to give an upcoming filmmaker an advice about, films, if he faces challenges, what would be your advice to him or her? Whether it be a filmmaker or whether it be an actor or an actress, what would be your encouraging words to them?
Okay, first and foremost, for an actor, you need to first and foremost define yourself. You need to find out from yourself, within yourself, do you really want to be an actor? Or do you want to be an actor because you want to be like another person? Or because you want to be known, you want to be popular? If the answer is really true that you want to be an actor, then the journey is quite easy. But if it is because you know Uche and you like Uche and you feel like you want to be like Uche, you want to have the name that Uche has, hello, I don't know whether you are aware, there's a price that I pay for this name that I carry. One of those prizes are, I cannot go wherever I want to go. I cannot eat whatever I want to eat. I cannot enter any vehicle that I want to enter. There are vehicles that I want to enter, and there are places that I want to go because I might not have the kind of money that is perceived that I have. People will write me out of contest. People will perceive a different thing out of it. Therefore, as an actor, your life ceases to be the day you become popular. You now live other people's life. You totally deny yourself, which is actually a terrible thing. And that's painful. Because even at your darkest time and your lowest time, nobody sees you and notices that you have that lowest time because everybody sees you as that actor. They never think about you like a human being.
True.
So when you're even broke, you can't even get money from anybody because anybody you're telling will feel like, oh, you get off it. They'll think you're joking. But in the real sense, man, you're suffering. But nobody will see it. So you have to first and foremost be sure that this is what you want to do. Then know that there are hurdles that you're going to scale through. You also, yeah.
I'm gonna cut you real quick for a minute. Please hold that. Hola has been wanting to get on, and since she is on now, I will just add her to stream, and then we can move forward. I would not want to keep her too long since she was waiting already. Please hold for a second.
Okay, am I there?
The beautiful Miss Ola Daniels. Honorable Ola. What am I saying? How are you doing?
I'm covering my face from her.
Hi, Uche. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very
clearly.
clearly.
Hear you.
Can you hear us?
But if
So
you can
yes,
hear me, good
here
evening.
we have the entire Cheetah's
Hi.
Paradise team on screen.
Wow,
Hold on a
I
second.
can't hear them. That's
Before I
the
say anything
problem.
else, Clarise, I see you. I don't know if you got my message earlier. I was to, close off with you, and Nelly Nels was supposed to be on 6 o'clock. So I'm just gonna, continue our chat. But Clarice, do not go nowhere.
It's
I'm just gonna finish chat with Ola Daniels, Sonia Patterson, and Uche for a minute, and let's clear up that early section because it's dark over there in the UK and in Nigeria. So yeah, that's the story. Ola, welcome to the show. How are you doing? It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's an honor.
I really can hear you, but I'm just your voice is inside, so I don't know if you can hear me very well.
We can hear you clearly.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah, so let me bring you up on screen for a minute and let's chat for a little bit. Who is the beautiful Miss Ola Daniels? Let our audience know who we are chatting with and where are you streaming from.
Okay. Well, good evening from this part of the world. I'm from Nigeria, obviously, streaming from Nigeria. My name is Honorable Mrs. Ola Daniels, a wife, a proud mother of 4, a Nollywood actress, and also a politician.
Yes, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have you here. People all over the world watching. I see some person says they're watching from Nigeria as we speak. Jay, I see some people saying hello to Sonia, and I see Clarice here same way. But she mentioned she's an actress. She's a mom, she's a politician, and that's phenomenal. Mrs. Ola Daniels, Honorable, if you were to encourage our young females today, what would be your message to them?
To encourage them?
Yes.
All right. What I can tell them is keep, pushing on in life and keep doing what you're doing. The most important thing is just putting God first in anything you do in life. When you run and when you find yourself on the floor, try and pick up, manage to stand, and, keep up the rest till you get to your destination. Sorry.
Thank you so very much for that, Ola. Let me take our viewers to a clippings from one of the films you did. Please hold for a minute.
And what is he doing there? Why is he washing in our house?
Mom, he runs a laundry service. He wanted to help me hand wash them. He's experienced than I am.
What's about? You will not kill somebody.
No, but Mom, he was the one who offered to help.
Yes, sweetheart.
Who is that young man at my backyard washing? Is he a washerman? And what happened to all the washing machines in my house?
Oh, sweetheart, just calm down. The washing machines are good. The young man you saw there is Roosevelt's friend. He offered to help. He's got experience, he knows how to wash. And
wait a minute. You compelled him to wash for you because he came to see you? Oh, you are taking advantage of him because he's interested in you?
Dad, he's only wooing a woman he's in love with. That's it. I mean, he offered to help. I didn't force him.
Okay, now that he has taken a step, what happens next?
I chose St. George's University School of Medicine because at the time that I wanted to...
Most mean it, but it's all good. I forgot about that part. See, I was actually chatting to someone on my TikTok a while ago, and then But anyway, Ola, it's been real pleasure watching snippets of your short movies. What I would want to know, your films, are they on YouTube, or they will have to visit your website to see them? Where can persons find your films?
Yes, the movie's on YouTube. This particular one, I shot it not quite long. I can't even remember the name. I don't even know that the movie is out. I'm so shocked.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. But it's on YouTube. Is you'll find this one on Uche Nancy's YouTube channel. My movies are everywhere.
Okay, so if persons want to find you, what would they be searching for?
Ola Daniels on IG is Ola Daniels _ Ola Daniels _. Then on YouTube is Ola Daniels World TV.
Yes.
On YouTube.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay. Sonia, I want to ask you, how did you come to find these remarkable people, or did they find you? Because it's really amazing watching your works, and it's fascinating to know how Ola, I see the passion you have for your arts. Likewise, Uche and Sonia, I see the passion you have, and as I heard Uche saying about what he would encourage the youth, it's. I would also add, if you think you're just gonna do this just to say, hey, I want to be famous and I want to get money, it doesn't work like that. It also, you have to have, as you see these people, as you watch their films, the passion, the expression, the love. So let me add to that. Just saying to anyone who wants to be in the film industry, the acting and the directing, you have to have a love and a passion for it. I'm saying that to persons who want to be.
Is a question for me or Uche?
No. I'm saying Uche had commented on that earlier. So I'm also adding that persons who want to be involved, just like you doing it with the passion of doing it, we see the love of wanting to do it and not the love of wanting to be famous. Because there's a difference with when one wants to be in it for the love of it than when someone just want to do it for,
Well, a lot of people come in for different reasons.
Yes.
I came in because it's passion. I've always loved it. It's not all about the money. All right?
See the love. I see the love you have for it.
Sorry?
No, I'm saying I see the love in just the expression of your
face. It's just the love, the passion. To be frank, it's not about the money. If it's about the money, I won't be stressing myself, shooting movies, morning, all night, and stuff like that. Do you understand? So I think it's passion. For people trying to come in, well, they might have their own reasons. Some might want to be famous. Some might come in because they are looking for the money, the cash. Some might come in just the way I came in, because of the love, the passion. I just love it. I love everything about, media or movies. I just love it. That's it.
Nice.
Well,
Tell me, come on.
Well, as you had asked before, like, how did I meet these people and all of that? The problem is, since I was a child in school, I used to do acting, a little acting, but never know that one day I would be trying to, I'm still young in it. I'm still upcoming. I'm learning like from Uche and other. I don't even know what I'm doing yet, but I'm trying. I love it. I really don't make a lot of money off my films. I do it for the love of the people. So.
Sonia, I think you're doing well so far. As Sonia talks about her acting skills. Let's jump back into one more for her films.
Hello, mommy.
Hello?
Good afternoon, mommy.
My princess, how are you?
I'm fine, mommy.
You're supposed to be in school. You're supposed to be in class, baby. Why are you out of class?
Yes, mommy, I know I'm meant to be in class, but I'm worried about you. I heard you talking to Uncle Raji on phone yesterday. You were so angry that I...
Oh, baby, please, do not worry about me and Daddy. We're gonna make this right.
Mommy, is Daddy cheating on you? Does Daddy have another baby? Mommy, what have we done to Daddy?
We are going to Nigeria and we will figure out what Daddy's doing. I didn't even know you heard me and Uncle Raji talking the other day. You were over listening, baby. I'm so sorry you had to hear that, baby. I'm very sorry.
But Mommy...
Oh.
Nice.
Yes, so Sonia, indeed, you are doing tremendous works, and also you involving the kids. It's really phenomenal. We're giving them hope, we're giving them vision, and as they grow older, they will take on that task and do tremendously well, just the same. So our viewers should know about one of the biggest event to come. It's the Cheetah's Paradise International Award. Uche, can you elaborate more on the award and why did you decide? Whose idea was it? Was it yours? Was it Sonia? Was it all of you collective come together? How did you came about with the Cheetah's Paradise Award?
I would say it's originally everything from the inception has always been me. Sonia talked about it. We first joked about starting a production together. We talked about it, bantered about it. Before we know it, we started taking the right steps in the right direction. Came the birth of Cheetah's Paradise. Then, but the award, it's solely Sonia's thing. Sonia always is looking out for an opportunity to impact her world, is looking out for a situation where she will gather people together and put a smile to their face. And she's been to Nigeria, she's been to Africa, and found out that we do not actually have relaxation like other people in the world do have. We do not really have a set up system where people come together under one umbrella and somebody says to us, well done for what you have been doing. You've been doing very well. Come and have a meal on me. Come and share a drink with me. Come and share water with me, or come and even smile to a picture with me. Let's take a picture together, and build, honoraries and build, something that will fall back to at the end of the day, something that people would fall back to. Because when you don't have this kind of event, you don't have reels that you keep down for people to refer back to when they must have gone. But when we do things like this, you have things that people will refer back to at our time when we leave this earth. So it was solely her idea to gather people together, to tell them well done, to give them a pat in the back. Not just giving virtual hugs, but just giving the right hug and say, well done. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so very much for that. Ola Daniels, you are nominated among the list of nominees. How do you feel to be part of this whole Cheetah's Paradise awards thing that's going on?
Well, yes, I'm nominated. Sorry. Well, I'm excited. I came in not quite long. I did not know much about Cheetah's Paradise, but so far I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the group and everything. Funny enough, my birthday is on that very day, so I'm happy. I'm excited.
So we're sharing birthday, Ola.
What's that? What's
Yeah.
that, Uche? What's that? Uche, please.
Let's not start our fight here now. I know
Uche,
you want to beat me up. I know you want to beat me up.
Please tell Uche I'm not talking to him.
Why is that so?
Oh no!
He's
See,
always fighting me.
listen.
You know I invited Uche during my mom's funeral.
I stood
Uche
all up and I
calmed me
didn't call to
down.
apologize.
Uche. Anyway.
Yeah. Listen, I flew in from London, got to Nigeria. I called her that I was in Nigeria, and she was really expecting me. For some reason, I couldn't make it, and I couldn't call. I didn't know how to call to apologize till today. I've not spoken to her, so it's a matter for another day. I offended her seriously.
So Uche, how about making it up? The Cheetah's Paradise Award is her birthday night. How about you making up that night? Giving her a nice birthday gift.
Good.
Don't worry. I know how to beg for myself. I told you that I messed up. You understand? I accepted before the whole world right now.
You are going to make it up, Uche, and that's it.
I will.
No long talk.
I will. Promise.
Thank you.
Sonia, the Cheetah's Paradise International Awards. What date will it be, and where is the location?
Okay, it's September 23rd at the Orchid Hotel. The VIP reception starts at 4 p.m. and showtime is at 6 p.m. Now, Uche and Honorable Ola is a nominee. Also, you are a nominee too for Best Poet.
I really appreciate that.
Are you going to be there?
Unfortunately, I can't be there, but Sonia and I are in the same country, so she will if I'm the one, because voting still going on or it stops.
No, it's closed.
Oh, voting closed. So if successfully I end up being the best poet, Sonia will do the honors of taking that award to me, and then we will link up.
Yeah. Quickly, Sonia, you forgot to say location where Orchid Hotel is. Orchid Hotel, ladies and gentlemen, our teaming audience. Orchid Hotel is in Asaba. Asaba is in Delta State. And Delta State is in Nigeria. That's where the award will be holding. Yeah.
Yes. You see, there's a lot of people that I think when we started this, a lot of people thought it was a joke until they see it developing now. So a lot of people that won't win that night didn't have a lot of votes, because they didn't get people to vote for them. So that is what we are looking on now, that, so many people could have won, but they just didn't ask people to vote for them or share the link. So I know next year it would be better though. But I think it's going to be a packed house. I have over 75 confirmed guests. So I know it's going to be a packed house.
Okay, interesting. Please hold. Let me go to a quick break for a minute. Cheetah's Paradise team in the building.
You're responsible for my pregnancy.
I am not responsible for your pregnancy. And if you must know, I am married and I have kids.
See.
I did not cheat.
See.
I miss you.
It's a lie.
I did not cheat at all.
Baby, don't say that now. Baby, I'm not cheating on you.
A lie, a big lie.
I'm pregnant for you.
Listen, let me tell you something. Don't ever call me on phone again and talk this rubbish about a pregnant or no pregnant. You do get?
Yes. So people do look out for the Cheetah's Paradise International Award. It's going to be something the world will want to be part of. So, we are saying it here from now. Media personnel, journalists, get involved in supporting, local talents we aim to inspire, to motivate, to educate, to uplift our people. So we want to see more vloggers talking about what we are doing here. We want to see more vloggers talking about Ola Daniels more, Uche, Amaziyah the Great, Sonia Patterson here, and talks about the poets, Clarise, Nelson, and all the wonderful poets and musicians, players of instruments, and athletes to all over the world. It's a joy, it's a pleasure having you here. I think we got 5 minutes to wrap up, but before we go, a word from Ola. I would want to know, you in the film industry, I don't know if it's the same thing there in Nigeria, but the industry back home, I'm not certain what it's like here in the United States, because that's where I'm at the moment. But back home, a lot of, whether it be music, whether it be films, these producers, they come with an aim to want to try get intimately involved with you before they try to do something for you. Was that a challenge that you experienced while you go through with your film journey?
Well, I've always heard this, from people, upcomers, and those that have been here before me. But to tell you the gospel truth, I haven't experienced that. I'm telling you.
Nice.
I don't know why they've, let me just say, they've not had the guts, to walk up to me, any producer, asking me out. I haven't experienced it anyway. This is my 5th year in the industry. I have not.
And your words, hold on a second. Uche, what were you saying?
Amaziyah, you see, there are people that you can't approach anyhow. When you look at Ola Daniels.
Okay. Okay.
When you look at Ola Daniels,
I'm waiting for you to approach me. It is only you I'm waiting for. My
okay,
crush.
no problem. I'm coming.
So your encouragement to females who, so for example, Ola, what would you tell a female if she hears, someone come on to her like that?
Sorry, please, I didn't get it.
If what would you encourage any female who would be approached by that? What would you tell them?
Simple, refuse. It depends on what you want. Do you understand? If you want to give in for it, just for you to get a role, it's up to you. But if you're my daughter, I would advise you not to. I mean, why will you do a thing like that? Just to get a role? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
As you mentioned that, Mrs. Daniels, as you mentioned my daughter, so I have to talk about my daughter. She is 18 years of age, and she's now into modeling. And I said to her, this industry, it's dark, it's bitter, it's sweet, it's full of promises, it's full of lies, it's full of cheaters. Never let no one, and I say this now on this platform because I've never talked about it. So I can second to what Ola says. Females, do not let no man whatsoever try to persuade you saying you have to do this for we to put you on the forefront.
Of course.
And I'm sure Sonia Patterson will give the same advice. I'm sure Uche will give the same advice. Never let no one, because in this industry, you have the beasts and the bastards, and they will try. They're just waiting for that innocent little face, just to try to put on a race to see who first can sample that, and it's not right. We does not support these. So I'm happy to have you on the platform, Ola Daniels. It's been really a great pleasure. I will let you tell persons where they can find you, and you can also give shout outs to whoever you want to give shout outs to. And we'll be happy to have you here again and again Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Any shout outs to anyone particularly? Your team, your friends, your audience?
Shout out to everyone.
Which one you shout him out? See, listening.
Oh, you must be tired.
I had a long day today. Believe me.
I know.
I've been working all morning, all day. So I just came in, a few minutes ago, and Sonia called me that it's time. Well, shout out to everyone watching, everyone who loves all of Daniels. I love you back. And keep watching all of Daniels' movies. And I'm glad I met Sonia. I'm glad I know Uche, my personal person. So I love you all.
So I'm so honored to have you here. I'm happy that you take time off your busy time to be on here. But before you go, Ola, there is one particular lady. I see she left a comment for you. Probably it was that film she was watching. She said she got to find her a washerman.
Okay.
You remember why she says that?
Hey, God.
Washerman.
It's the film she watched, that short snips of the movie.
The Washerman. The one that Queenette's boyfriend was washing for her clothes, the Washerman.
What's that?
You know the film the film that they showed a little bit ago, the film that she just did with Queenette.
Okay, yes.
The one the boyfriend was washing clothes for Queenette. That's the film that she's referring to, the Washerman.
Okay.
So she said she gotta find one. She says she's now following you also, so look out for her. Uche.
Yes, sir.
It's a pleasure having you here. It's 1 minute past the hour. I will look forward to, have you on the program again. Perhaps we'll be joining, in connection as it comes near to the event, and we can talk more about the event, because the event is something that will always be talked about before and after, and we will talk again after the event. So any shout outs you want to make, any big ups to anyone in particularly?
To all my fans, to everybody, to Ola for giving me the opportunity to finally say I'm sorry, which I'm going to say in a bigger way later on. And for being alive too, for God keeping us alive, because it's not easy to be alive in this day and time. Be healthy. So, and to you too, and Sonia too, having given us this platform, I want to say big up, man, big up.
Thank you so very much. And the lady of the moment, the beautiful Miss Sonia Patterson. You're doing so much. You're linking up people from all over. You're doing acting. You're humanitarian. You go all over. You'll be helping people. I know, not just now, but it's really an amazing work you have been doing, and I must congratulate you and say salutations, Sonia. Pleasure having you here. I would like for you all to tell persons your YouTube channel where they can follow, your Instagram, wherever you are. Ola, I also see you on TikTok. I'm not following you there, but I follow you on IG. But I'm going to be following you on TikTok. Sonia, what are your social media handles?
Okay, my YouTube is at Sonia Patterson Cares, and IG is at Sonia Patterson Care Official. So Facebook is Sonia Patterson Cares too, as well.
Interesting.
And before I go, I want to thank Honorable Ola Daniels and Uche and Odoputa, my great friends, for coming on and giving me some minutes. And, I really appreciate it, because I know you guys are very busy, and to take time out of your busy time just to do this, it's great. I want to thank you.
Thank you also.
You too.
So if you have to go, I do understand, but I'm gonna bring on Clarise. If you want to continue tuning to the show, you can still tune in. Like I said, it's a pleasure. Uche, did you tell them where to find you?
Okay, where to find me on YouTube is Uche Odoputa TV, UCHEODOPUTA TV, T and V. Then on my Instagram is Uche Odoputa. Then on Facebook is also Uche Odoputa TV. That's my Facebook page. All right. So TikTok is still Uche Odoputa on TikTok, and that's about it. Thank you, guys.
Are you looking for any acts wherever you are to be in your future films, Uche?
Yeah, sure, possible, yeah.
So are you approachable that persons can come and say, hey, Uche, I would want to be in your films, or are you that person they have to go through security guards and all that?
No, send me a direct message. I read my messages. Oh, trust me.
Okay.
I'll find time.
Honorable.
I'm not as big as honorable. I don't have PA.
You don't have what? Say it again. Let's start now.
There is something going on here. There is something going on here that I don't know about.
Sonia, nothing. We always fight it. Don't mind you.
Before you all go, Clarise was here watching. I'm gonna invite her on. She's a poet, and she can fill us in on what she saw. If she like, if she dislike, well, she will not dislike because she messaged me already, and I saw the messages, Clarise, and she's saying she's loving the show. I was wondering if she gonna sit by 1 hour and just watch, but she did. Clarise, welcome to the show.
It's a pleasure to be here, and especially with all of these great artists. What a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes. I wrote all of your names down because I'm going to follow all of your social media because I want to see more of your work. I enjoyed the clips that you showed. Yes, I enjoyed it very much.
Thank you so very much, Clarise.
Are you in Jamaica or in the States?
I'm in the United States. I'm in Rhode Island with Amaziyah, actually. So, yeah, I'm here in Rhode Island. Yes.
Not a problem.
Although I hope to come to your country someday. I would love that.
Okay.
To have you in Nigeria, yes.
Well, if you come to this part of America, please contact me. I'd love to know. I'd love to meet you all in person.
Not a problem.
Sonia is already here.
Oh, wonderful.
Before anyone you all go, Clarise, I want to tell them more about yourself, but I'm gonna skip phase. I want you to do a poem while these guests are here.
Very good. I'm happy to do one. I'm going to do one called If I Cease to Seize This Moment. And I dedicate it to each of you. And it's all about just really taking the time to do what you really want to do in life. I heard when you said, Sonia, about how much you love your work and you do it for love. You don't do it just necessarily for money, but for love. And I understand that. So this poem I'm going to dedicate to the three of you tonight, and it's called If I Cease to Seize This Moment. If I cease to seize this moment, I will dwell within lament. I will live with self-chastisement and feelings of regret. If I cease to seize this moment, all the plans inside my mind will begin to minimize and then be left behind. If I cease to seize this moment, then I will never know how the greatness I once sought could have been nurtured and well sown. And if I cease to seize this moment, I will never see the person that I always knew I had the power to be. So I dedicate that to all of you.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Yes. I'm happy that you loving it. I'm Clarise. Are you using? I'm kind of echoing. Can you guys hear the call?
You're echoing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Echoing.
I don't know why.
Maybe too much people.
Okay. All right. I want to just close out some of you. So you can continue to watch Uche left. I'm still here in the echo. I'm not certain what's going on. I'm still echoing. Your mic speaking up. All right. Ola, we will link again, Ola. It's a pleasure having you here. I'm going to say
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. It's a joy. It's an honor. Blessings and respect.
Nice meeting you, Ola.
Good night.
Good night. I hope I see you again.
Same here.
Yes.
So how is that? Is that a little better?
Let me go for a break. And I'll be right back.
Okay.
They say it's a free world, free speech. Fear not. If you've got your story to share, there's a global audience anticipating to hear. Be bold, be truthful, tell them precisely. Join us on youtube.com, Great Amaziyah, for the TDP show, Sunday at 5 p.m. And this is not about just interviewing artists only, but we want to interview everybody. Players of instruments, comedians, poets, actors, actresses, dancers, people with talents and not get fair share. And remember, it's all about honesty, truth about your opinion. We want the world to know Amaziyah is here and precisely.
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Yeah, I'm not seeing my picture. I don't know what happened. All right, I'm going for another real quick.
Okay.
My mother and your mother was washing some clothes. My mother thumped your mother in her bed.
Shana Johnny.
Yes, Daddy.
Every single day. Be a ram. Book. Read something at me here.
I am a girl. My name is Pam.
I am a boy. My name is Roy.
See my name here? P-A-M, Pam.
Wait a little bit. Hold on. You see, I knew Pam when I was much younger. I may have a different side of the story. Oh, now listen up and are you ready? Pam was sad and sulky because Roy always made her cry. He was too busy being a boisterous bully, plus a sour, selfish guy. She was somewhat bewildered as tears rained from her weeping eyes. Her relationship wasn't smooth sailing, so she told him goodbye. He yelled, "Hey, if you ever leave, damn, you're gonna die. I'm the one who make you and I'll break you. Go on if you wanna try." The nosy neighbor from next door shouted, "Somebody, call police!" She remained by her usual spot at the zinc fence where she peeped. Mary was too busy taking a selfie to share a Facebook post. Then suddenly start recording and virally shared it most. The preaching pastor came praying, but counseling never worked. Pam ran away the following day while Roy was out for work. She later found Dick, who gave her firm attention. She enjoyed having sex, but oops, no prevention. Few months later she was pregnant, no baby father was around. Her mind went googling, but Dick was never found. Billy shortly took her up and offered for her to be his bride. She was more than delighted and promised never to leave his side. He thought he was the baby's father, happiness displayed evidently in his eyes. Billy felt silly when he found out he wasn't so, and later committed suicide. Pam never had a good education. She sold back juice to make ends meet. Few months after she gave birth, she was selling her body on the streets. Life's journey got intricate. She prayed and said, "Oh God, I can't take no more." A year after she bought a car. Some people call her whore. She later furthered her education, for she knew she wanted to soar. Now can you guess who is that janitor at her self-owned clothing store? Once again, it's the voice of Amaziyah the Great, representing for all my independent ladies across the world. Never let your problems get you down. Tell them precisely. Just lift your head up and keep moving on. I just gotta big up my mom, Miss Ina Lee, my kids Naisha and Johnny.
We love you too, Daddy.
And big up all the hard-working ladies. You're very special and I love you. So just keep moving on to progress. Tell them precisely.
So we're waiting for Craig to come back, Amaziyah. So in the meantime, perhaps what I will do is share a poem with you from my book. My book is Excuse Me While I Live My Life. And I hope that you, those of you who have it already and are enjoying it, and if not, perhaps that you will go out and purchase one if you have not. So the poem that I will read to you as I'm waiting for Craig is Boxed. Did you know your world was open when you first arrived? The possibilities were endless, so many reasons yet to thrive. But someone said, stop now, get back inside your box. Remain where it is known and safe. That's when your mind began to lock. You stayed right there and you watched while others lived out their dreams, while you believed the lie that only they were born for great things. And when you questioned, you were told, hush now, don't talk silly. That life's not for you or me. Just strive for normalcy. So you asked once more and you were told again, stop talking like a fool. You can't do those kinds of things. They ain't for me or you. So there you stayed and you remained believing the common lie that keeps you locked inside your box that is now locked from the inside. Hi, Amaziyah.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so you're coming in broken up. I heard you say that you're having a problem with your computer, something happening with the computer. I'd be happy to share a few more of my poems until that gets straightened out. So I will share another one now. That is called Home. And I love this poem because it reminds us about what's so important in life. You know, so often people think it's things that are important are things that you have to buy with money. And it's nice to be comfortable. That's fine. If you are, that's wonderful. But you don't need a tremendous house to have joy in your family. Growing up, I remember dancing a lot in the living room with my father. He had an old, we used to call it back then a hi-fi. Most people probably don't know what that is now, but we would play a record one at a time. And he loved his music. So we would dance in the house a lot. And he loved to have friends over and have dinner, and everybody just enjoy themselves. And it's something that you don't need a ton of money for. It's something that you just need to think about what kind of things you have happen in your home. So I wrote this poem called Home, and I'll share it with you now. Despite what happens in this world, at work, in the street, in places where my power to make a difference may seem weak, when I enter my home, when my feet step firmly through this door, when I walk into this place I have worked so hard for, there will be tranquility in this haven for my family. It is our sacred sanctuary. And though And though my home may seem quite small, it is filled with kindness for one and all.
How you guys doing?
Okay.
So
It is a place.
problem. Like try to fix it. I just want. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
I can hear you,
but it's broken up.
But it's
So I'm gonna work on this. But meantime, I need you know, the trouble. I'm still trying to this. I don't want to stay. Yeah. I'll be on for a minute. So you want her continue.
Okay.
Until I go.
We got it. We got you. We got your back, Amaziyah. We'll share some of our poems, won't we, Nelson?
Right.
I'll just finish this one. There will be tranquility in this haven for my family. It is our sacred sanctuary. And though my home may seem quite small, it is filled with kindness for one and all. It is a place where there will be calm. There is a love here that will keep you warm. And I will always do my best to make your time here be truly blessed. So wrap yourself in the peace that is here, consume the goodness that is shared. And when it comes time for you to leave, won't you please spread that goodness around out there? Yes, the love that dwells here is yours to take. Let this be the difference that I can make. So, just a little poem about your home and what makes it a home. Hi, Nelson.
How are you?
It's good to see you again. I'm well.
It's really good to see you.
Yes. So, with Amaziyah fixing something behind the scenes, I guess, it's you and me for a little while. Yeah.
Will you be outspoken at the end of the month?
I plan to be. Yes, I do. Outspoken, for those of you who are watching from overseas, is one of the wonderful opportunities for open mic work here in Providence, Rhode Island. And they have a production every 2 months. And I know Nelson has performed there a couple of times, as have I. And there are some other wonderful places in Rhode Island to share your poetry, such as Pawtucket Poetry, which is a place that I consider family, because so many of us started there when we started our open mic journey in Rhode Island. So that's Pawtucket Poetry. Yes.
Pawtucket Poetry was the first place that I shared my poetry. Then I'm not sure what it was poetry. It was just like jumbled thoughts. So being there in a small environment, listening to like you and Lori, gave me a chance to kind of get those thoughts in order.
Yes. And you're referring to Lori Minatoli, who's actually here. As a matter of fact, in the comments, you'll see some comments from Lori.
Hi, Lori.
Yeah. But she started some great work at her studio. It's like a part of her home in Pawtucket. And she invites people to come and do poetry every week. And it's so inviting. It's comfortable. If you are in the state of Rhode Island or anywhere nearby, I strongly recommend that you come there. I know that Amaziyah also performs there as well pretty often. Yes.
Trying to see what she has a date up this week.
Mm-hmm. So in the meantime, why don't you tell us about some of the things that you have coming up, Nelson?
Oh, okay. Let me just double check. So where's it? I'm so sorry, Lori. I think it's this Thursday. Yes. But me personally, I have a show at the end of the month with Outspoken, which is produced by Sarah Lopez, and she's gonna have a theme. It's a taste of culture. Yes. So we're gonna kind of have a discussion about culture, and I'm really excited about that.
Yeah,
that's September 30th.
Okay, looking forward to it. How did you get?
Nelson.
Oh, there we are. Okay.
We're here. Still, we are echoing on the line. I'm gonna ask you to jump back out.
Okay.
You want both of us to jump out?
Yeah.
So jump out.
Okay. Let me see here.
Yeah. Yo, so I'm just testing to see if I'm echoing. Yo, tell me, people, am I echoing? I'm not hearing me echoing, so it can't be me. I don't know. Hey, somebody comment and tell me if you hear me echoing. I'm not echoing. So what's going on? Nelson, is it you? Or Clarise, is it you? Tell me. One of you people got some connections not properly sorted, so please restart your phones and see if you can join in back. Because I wondered if it was me, but it's not me. It's not me. No, it's not. Okay. While we are there, let's go to something amazing. Big ups to my African people, the Nigerian, the Ugandan, the all about Africa. My Jamaican people all over the world. My Rhode Island people, them, maximum respect. Everybody in the US, all about over the world. My Caribbean people, them, everybody. Let's hear what Miss Brooks have to say. No, I think it's Mrs. Brooks. Let's go to one of her clip right away without no delay.
Hey again, friends, it's Clarise here, ready to share another poem from my book, Excuse Me While I Live My Life, during this National Poetry Month of April. I've really been enjoying it. The poem that I'm going to be reading with you today is called Climb, and for those of you who have the book, it's on page 32. I want to dedicate this poem to every single person out there who has been really working on something, and they had somebody giving them doubts. They had someone ready to give you negativity, but you refused to accept it, and you kept on going, and you succeeded in your plans. Congratulations to you. If that's you, then you can definitely identify with this poem. Once again, it's called Climb. When I started my ascent, first climbing one rung, then two, you tossed dirt down on my face, and you thought that I'd be through. But I brushed it off, and I kept on, climbing to 3, then 4, and you shook the ground so very hard, thinking I'd brave it no more. But I held on tight, and I kept on, climbing to 5, then 6. You blew hot wind down, and I will admit, it burned, but I held my grip. I looked ahead, almost there, climbing to 7, then 8. And you stomped with a fury that was so great, so filled to the brim, you were with hate. But I did it. I finally did it, reaching to 9 and then 10. So remember our little story and never doubt upon me again. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed that. Bye-bye.
Yes. So that was Clarise Annette Brooks. And take a look. She have a book. Please go support it. I'm going to introduce her back to the screen, and she can tell you more about her book and where you can find it. But I hope none of these people aren't echoing. I have to say, all right. Let me tell you a little bit more, Clarise. Now, I won't bring her on screen yet, and I won't bring on Nelson yet, but let me tell you more about these two wonderful people who I have met. So, I was at an event doing poetry, and I never know that this lady was watching. Well, I'm always watching by the ladies. Yeah, ladies love watching. Okay, let me stop. All right. So I saw her at an event that Motif was, it was a Motif Awards, and she says to me, I was looking to see you perform because I love your performance. I love your poetry. Listening to her poems, I must also say I love her poems. She did one that connects to me directly. That was written for me, even though I never knew her at the time, but it's for me. She told me the other night that poem is for you, Craig. So it's my poem. So she will also read that poem. And, you know, the connection of linked since. I used to see Nelson at, you know, the first place I saw him was at AS220 Prov Slam. I think that's the name of it. We weren't friends yet though, but you know, I love this performance. And you know, when he finally exchanged words with me, he say Amaziyah, Craig, whatever. I don't remember which one of the names he called me, because you know, people say Craig, people say Amaziyah. But the connection was, you know, welcoming. And I can say that for other poets just the same, because not just them, you know, we got Shamari, we got Ayana, we got so many different people all over, you know, in and out of Rhode Island, you know, Massachusetts, all about New York, just the same. And they welcome me warmly. And these people who I am about to talk with, I just hope they're not coming in with no echoes. But anyway, I'm going to talk with them for a bit. They welcome me warmly, and I feel truly part of a family. You know, big up to, you know, Laurie and the whole Pawtucket team. Big respect to Orange Live, just the same. Sarah, maximum respect. You know, outspoken is a great thing going on. And, you know, much love. Let me see what I go on. Let me try bring in the beautiful Miss Clarise.
Hello again.
Hello.
How's it sounding? Are we echoing?
Still echoing as you come in. I don't know what's going on. All right. Let me try one more thing, Clarise. Let me try invite Nelson in. And if Nelson comes in and it's not echoing, then I think you are the one doing the damage. But let me try that for a minute, because if I'm off screen, I don't think you are echoing. So if I'm to jump off screen for you to talk more about you, I will do that, because I would not want the echo. So let me try Nelson, and then I try had you back. And sorry for that. You know, I really would not want to dismiss you. I'd rather dismiss Nelson. Okay, let me stop. Let me behave myself. All right, let me try bring in. Nelly Nels.
How's it going?
Yeah, I'm good.
I would dismiss me too. She's amazing.
She's amazing, but you are not echoing, so I guess it's her. But don't tell her I said so. No, you're not echoing.
No, but what I was going to say was maybe she has a YouTube open and the StreamYard open. Maybe she has two screens open.
Okay, Clarise, if you're still here, and check if you have two screens open. Yeah. So I'm the only one. I can see, but they can't. Okay, one moment. Okay, I can see. Well, I see you showing me a finger. I don't know what you're saying. If it's only one, or you should. Okay, Nelly Nels, what going on? How you doing, sir? Welcome.
Very good. It's good to see you, Craig.
It's a pleasure having you here. I know you were busy. I know you were traveling. I know you have so much to do, and you know, at the last minute, you take the time out to be part of this TDP show. Tell them precisely. It's a pleasure having you here. I think we missed out on some time because trying to get this live sorted. But I will catch up on time again. It's my show. They can't kick me out. And we are here to, you know, showcase our talent, our creativity. Meeting you here in Rhode Island, it's always a pleasure. It's an honor. You get me? And I have to say, kudos goes out to... So it's all started off when I did that Rhode Island Bards anthology thing. I met a wonderful female by the name of Panda. And Panda hooked me up with Pawtucket poetry. My girlfriend took me there. Since she traveled all the way from Georgia, and she took me to the event, and you know, the rest is history. So all of that connection, you know, it has to do with Lori sending me every single one of these connections. The New Bedford, everybody. She talks about you. She talks about Clarise. She talks about Shamari. She talks about everybody. And even when she's not at the event, she'll be promoting them, she'll be sending them. And I respect that. You get me? And, you could be one of those who just see me and ignore me, but, you welcome me warmly. And I say, hats off again, kudos, and, salutation to you, Nels. I must say, without no further delay, because I've been talking too much, tell the people who Nelly Nels is.
Well, first, thank you for having me. I remember you, I think before AS220, we were at Pawtucket Poetry. It was when, I think it was when Lori was renovating her studio, and then we started doing them at different places, like in Pawtucket. And I think that was the first time I saw you. But ever since then, I've seen you at Troop, I've seen you at AS220, I've seen you at Outspoken, I've seen you at Revival. Well, I'm not sure if I've seen you at Revival just yet, but that should be next up. But me personally, my name is Nelson. I go by the name of Nelly Nels sometimes, depending on what people call me. Been doing poetry for a couple of years now, but I've been writing since I was in high school, about 1997. So I used to write lyrics. I used to battle, like, those kids who would like make beats on the table and freestyle. So I started with that in the Bronx. We would, we thought we were going to be famous. I moved to Rhode Island, kept writing. We went through the pandemic and I really didn't share much, but I got introduced to Lori somehow. I think it was through Facebook. And then once I went to Pawtucket Poetry, I changed my style more towards poetry versus lyrics, because it gives you a way of like expressing your feel, like how you feel, or things that are going on in the world that you want to talk about that you might not be able to say in any other way. So started doing that. Then I went to Mr. Orange Live, the man. He does the Tell Your Truth events at Troop. Started doing the open mics there. Met people like Shamari. Met people like just everybody. Oh, you guys are awesome. We from there moved to AS220, Revival, Outspoken. So right now, Rhode Island has a lot of venues that are offering. Even Vladimir, he has an event coming up this week. Speakeasy, Hide and Speak. It's at the George on Washington Street. So there's a lot of venues right now. There's a lot of places to perform poetry right now. It's almost like a renaissance. So any way I can, I like to try to promote that, advance that, because it gives another place for people like me and you to share. If we stop going to these things and they cease to exist, who are we going to share our art with? And the things that you hear that pick you up, that you needed to hear, when that goes away, you feel it. So just happy to be part of a great community, having people that support you, such as you. You've done so many different types of things. Like, I had no idea you do movies, you do videos, you do photography, you do poetry. So it's inspirational. It motivates you as an artist to see how else you can affect the world. Like, we affect the world with our words, but there's people out there that volunteer, that do charity, that really help the people. And I feel like poetry is giving me that entry to find out how I can further help and grow our community. But that's a little bit about me. I just I felt like I was talking too much for a second. How are you, Craig? How's everything on your side?
Well, Nelinas, it's not so much about me either. You said a lot. You said a lot about other persons, their venue, their events, which is really good. Persons do go around and be talking more about themselves and not much of what put them where they are. But it's all good. Such is life. They're just people. As for me, I have to give kudos to whatever helped me propel where I'm at, and whoever helped me to feel empowered. And you people all do give me that strength and motivation. Where are you from?
Okay, so to answer that, right now I'm in New York. I'm in New Rochelle. I'm in my girlfriend's house. I come here almost every weekend, except like 1 weekend a month. So
Big
this
respect.
weekend,
Big
so this
respect to
weekend when
you
you
and your
invited
girl.
me, I definitely wanted to do the show. So all I had to figure out was where I'm going to be. So this is in my room. This is in my computer. It took a long time for me to get set up. I have no idea what I'm doing, but
It's all
I'm
good.
here. I'm
It's all
here,
good. One
and
thing I like about you, Nels, when you said to me, Craig, you know, I see you all over the place. So whenever you're in New York, if you're going to an event, you'll holler at me. I really respect that because it shows how passionate you are about, you know, putting your art out there to the world. And, you know, the best is yet to come. There are times I be observant. There are times I plan things. There are times I just take my time. But the results are, you know, transforming tremendously. And it's only a matter of time. That's all I have to say. So you are from, you're
so I
between Rhode Island to New York.
So I'm from New York originally. I'm from the Bronx. I was born and raised in the Bronx. My mother's Puerto Rican, my father's Dominican. So I'm Hispanic or Latin, whatever you want to call it. But I'm from the Bronx. I moved to Rhode Island about 2002, 2001. And to be honest with you, I'll be moving back to New York next year. So I'm here every weekend because my girlfriend lives here. But eventually I'll be living here again. So I
know.
kind of make the trip every weekend back and forth.
I know Nelly Nels. She got that thing to grab you back in. Okay, let's not get there. Big ups to her. But I too also travel to New York a lot, as you know. I'm from the Bronx also. You know, big up to, you know, AD Ave, because that's where I'm from. Also want to talk more about you and your poetry. I want to hear some of your pieces. I want to hold on a second. Someone saying something very important. Let me pull that on screen. She said, "Thank you, Laurie and Craig, and the old poetry community for showing." Oh, this is her. Oh my gosh, she's here. Hear me talking about she got that grip to grip you in New York. Oh my gosh. Greetings and salutation to you, Queen. How are you doing?
She has a great sense of humor. So
This person, where am I going? Yeah, this person right here is a phenomenal person. He's a real brother. He's a supporter. He's the strength. He's motivation. He is, you know, fun, and all he talks about is you.
Thank you for that, Craig. Thank you.
So Nelly Nels, so this is what happened earlier today. I tried to get some of your pictures because I wanted to, you know, just like I never told none of those people you saw, whether it be Clarise, whether it be the Nigerians, I've never told them I've grabbed video from wherever I found them. And I never want to ask you guys for none. I just wanted to surprise you all. And I was going through, I grabbed some photographs of you from your page, your Facebook. And there is one that I was just grabbing you only, but there is that one I grabbed with you and her. And I was thinking, I wonder if it's okay for me to brandish her on screen while the picture is displayed. But the crazy part was, while I tried to encode it out, it was giving me problems. And when I see that it was 4:47, I say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna leave it. But Nelly Nels, I did get a small snippets of video. Let me see if I can play it for our audience. You were at Orange Live event doing poetry. Let me see if I can find it. It should be here. Or it never came over. Hold on a second. Okay, I think I see you.
On to the next group of talented souls that's dedicated, than ever jaded, because when I'm reading from these pages, I leave a little piece of my soul on the stage. Do with that what you may. I hope I water your soil in return for how your words calm my mind's turmoil. I take your essence, I give it back to you reformed, that in this way we help each other weather the storm. I ain't afraid to say I need you because people need people, and it's my goal to make you need me too. So let me feed you, because I've been eating your food a few times a month. So the least I could do is pay for lunch, because you deserve it. This food for thought you've been given, the malnourished is better than liquid courage. It's what I needed to flourish, so what I give in return is this passion that burns. And everything that I write and recite is put in urns. Incinerate the page with grace to take a seat, listen and see. Who's next and coming to the stage? I take your energy. For the lies. I had a really bad day. I'm only here for the vibes.
That's
a good one.
People, that's Nelly Nels with a piece of his heart. Nelly Nels, I would want you to talk to the people about your poetry more. You know, do one or two poems, and after that, I'll be heading straight over to Clarise, and let's see if I can invite her on screen without she echoing. Yeah, don't tell her I said that though. Okay. Oh, she probably hear me anyway.
She's watching.
Okay. So you can tell us more about your pieces, what style you like to do, and how are you impacting our youth, not just here in Rhode Island but all over.
All right, so I had a hard time defining my poetry because I never wanted to do a specific type of poetry, because sometimes, like, some of the pieces that I'm known for are funny. Like, I have a piece called Road Rage. A lot of people know it's a funny piece, but then I have pieces that are like the one I just did is about energy, like the energy that I get from artists and the artistry, the reciprocation of the energy. And then I go into depressing stuff. So I really like to cover the whole spectrum, meaning I reserve the right to be depressing today and then the next piece make you laugh. I don't feel like we should fit into a box. And with my poetry, sometimes I have a hard time picking what to do in a venue, because I'll hear somebody do, like Clarise, her poetry inspires me. It's like it's incredible. So to follow her, I'd be like, what can I do? But I'm learning that you don't have to do that. Like, every poets have their own style. Clarise, my guy Shamari's on the screen right now. He does what he does incredible. One of my favorite poets also, Louis the B. I can't do what Louis does. There's just so many of you guys that do what you do incredible. So for the first year of performing, I tried to find what I do incredible. And a lot of people would tell me, but I wouldn't listen. Like, I was trying to do other things, but now I know I can do a little bit of it all. You don't fit in a box. The only box you fit in is when you die. So sometimes my poetry is lyrical, sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's silly, and sometimes it's depressing, and that's okay. So I like to inspire people who don't talk a lot. People, like, for example, I'm an introvert. This is the most I'm gonna talk today if it's not to my family or sometimes you need permission to be yourself, and you need to give it to yourself. So those people that listen and they're sitting in the crowd and they're saying, I have something written, but I can't do that. Like, I'm too nervous, or I want them to see me be honest with them and say, hey, I'm nervous right now as I'm talking to you. And then the next event, they're the one on the stage telling me something that I need to hear, because today I'm positive, but tomorrow I might need you to tell me something, so it's this duality. It's this me giving to you, you giving to me, us giving to them, inspiring the next generation of writers. So I am coming from a rapper back in the day, which I never intended to be. I just liked rhyming. That was more from an ego standpoint. Like, oh, I can put words together and I can beat this person and I can tell him that his breath stinks and make his own family laugh at him. So that was ego. Once I got into the whole like, what do I want to say? How do I feel? Then I tapped into a whole new part of me. Like, why am I this way? What did I go through? What can I share with you that you might say, I understand that, So the style of poetry I'm doing right now won't be the style of poetry I'll do next month, because I'm still evolving and I'm still learning and I'm still grasping what I want it to be, which is why I don't have a book. Honestly, I'm not intending on writing one until it writes itself. I want it to come organically. I want everything to be organically. I don't want to lie to you, you know. And so yeah, so that's where I come from. I'm more like a I want to support you as much as you support me. I want to listen to you as much as, because we need each other. And right now I feel like poetry is thriving. So I don't know what poem I want to do, but I saw Clarise mention lasagna, and I did that poem for her for Outspoken a couple of months ago, and she really liked it, and that made me proud because I respect, you know, it's just, we all just want each other's, like, well, actually, let me not say that, but it feels nice to be validated by your fellow artists, you know, and it also feels nice to inspire them, which is why I always say I want to leave something for you because you give me something.
Okay. So Nelly, before you start the poem, I'm just gonna jump to a quick break, real quick.
Oh,
and then you can continue with your poem.
People, are you ready? Yeah! Oh, wow. Debbie as Sister Williams, illustrated matron of Miriam, chapter number 5. And J. Jones Entertainment presents the ultimate all-white affair, Soul to Soul, taking place on Saturday, September 16, 2023. Starting time, 9 p.m. until 2 a.m. You can't afford to miss this one. Tickets only $65, and that includes a complimentary glass of champagne and food ticket. Pre-order bottles includes VIP table and complimentary appetizers. Reserve bottles and tables by August 25th. This event is taking place at 65 Putnam Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. So for ticket and more info, please call 347-938-0965 or 347-322-1119. The ultimate all-white affair, Soul to Soul. You can't afford to miss this one. 65 Putnam Ave. Tell them precisely. This commercial is brought to you by Great Amazement Multimedia Entertainment, LLC. Action.
Hey viewers, I'm Julia. Keep watching the TDP show.
And I'm Kate, and tell them precisely.
Them precisely. Nelson, tell them precisely the poetry that you are going to drop to make the audience feel lively.
So this piece is called Lasagna, and it's actually I originally was talking about the concept of death and how we celebrate our dead or how we mourn our dead, and somehow some way I got to talking about lasagna, and somehow some way I got to talking about my mother. So I tie all these three things into this piece. When I die, eat lasagna on my grave. And if you use cream cheese instead of ricotta cheese, I'll knock that shit out of your hands. I remember as a child, my mom took me to Venice for dinner. Not Venice, Italy. It was Venice in the South Bronx. It was an Italian restaurant, and she ordered me my first plate of lasagna. I will always remember on that night, everything seemed right in the world. Sometimes I sit in the kitchen with my mother while she cooked dinner. I would lick the empty sazon packets that she used as seasoning. And when she made a cake, she'd let me have the spoon that we mixed it with. I'd forget about the world outside. That was my safe space. In that kitchen with my mother. She tried her best to give us a clean home, even though no amount of scrubbing could erase the roaches. You learn to look in your cereal bowl before you put your spoon in. On my way to elementary school, the floor was littered with blue and red top crack vials, which would serve as a personal game. See if I could crush them all with stomps that distracted me from the trauma of being poor and hopeless. Toilet bowls being blown up with M80s in middle school, reflecting the explosion of gang violence in the late 90s, actualized by reports of faces being slashed by razor blades, bubble goose feathers floating in the sky as unintended casualties. A Latina chases her husband down the street with a kitchen knife as he screams about a misunderstanding. True story. I remember the first time I felt like a plate of lasagna betrayed me. My ex decided she was going to make me one. She was so proud, and I was ecstatic until I took my first bite. She used cream cheese instead of ricotta cheese. It was trash. I was gonna break up with her, but my mother told me not to. I did eventually, though. Anyways, I looked up to my mother. She was a single mom of 3 in the ghetto, coming home after a long day of work and still cooking us a delicious meal. Sometimes with cake, but always with that feeling of safety and protection. That kitchen became my safe space, and lasagna became my safe food. To be quite honest with you, I have no use for flowers. So instead of bringing me those, visit me with a plate of something cheesy and delicious. Have a seat, eat, laugh, and remember our good times. Let's mourn each other less and celebrate each other more. So when I die, eat lasagna on my grave, because that was my safe food. And just like I learned from my mother all those years ago, when you're with me, you will always be in a safe space. Thank you. So that piece is called Lasagna, and it's actually one of my favorite pieces because it means so much to me. My mom would probably be mad at me because I probably have said that piece more than I've spoken to her lately. So I got to call her later. But it's definitely one of my favorite pieces. It comes from the heart. And then
Yeah.
I
Nelly, Shamari says, true story. Clarice says, oh my gosh, this is my poem. I love it so much. And then Sandra says, love you, Nelly Nell. You are loving, authentic. I respect your process, your honesty. Thank you for gifting us with your poetry.
I appreciate that.
And then, of course, I could not forget this one out. How could I? Why would I? Bravo. And she says, her love.
She's awesome. I appreciate all of you guys. All I want to do is give you what you give me. You're giving me a space to be more of myself. So let's do that for everybody else.
Yes. And I am happy this platform I took you people on, so more people all over can see, worldwide, and can be part of, what's going on. More persons saying stuff about you. Cassie Arford says it's a beautiful poem. Lori says, oh, the emotions. I think you should go on with your next poem. Let them hear more of what you have to say.
I don't like, and that's the part that I have issues with. Like sometimes they'll say like, oh, do something funny now, but it's kind of hard to go down from there. So
no. Anything you want to do, it's on you. It's just that to give, the listeners or the viewers more of Nelly Nels. But if you want,
I'm gonna do something deeper than that. All right, I'm gonna do one that I just recently
If you want, you don't have to do it right now. I can bring back Clarice up and we can talk with her for a minute.
Okay.
And give her a space to breathe. Okay, hold on a second. Let me see what Clarice is going on here. Lori keep writing stuff. Hey, Clarice, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I hear you. Am I echoing?
Hey. Well, you're not echoing, but I am. So let me close my microphone and let me close Nelly's mic while you talk.
Okay.
Hi, Clarice.
How's it going, Nelson? I love that poem, Nelson.
Thank you so much.
When you read, I could see your mom being excited about taking you out to Venice, to the restaurant. I could see, her saving, to take you there and being excited to see how you're going to like that dish. You have such scenery in that poem, and I love it. It's one of my favorites that I've heard from anybody. So you can read that poem for me anytime. I don't know if you could hear me now, but I'll talk a little bit about myself. I guess that's what Craig would have asked me. I hear that Nelson is from the Bronx. I'm from Queens, New York, Corona. And my family's from St. Martin in the Caribbean, the French side of the beautiful island of St. Martin. So my parents and my 2 older sisters were born there and raised there. I came to Rhode Island about 15 years ago with my husband and 2 children. And I used to tell stories to them all of the time. So I finally put some of the works together that I used to tell to my children and that I've been writing all over the years. So, and I finally put it together in my book. And that's how I finally, got my book published. Excuse Me While I Live My Life. I showed it to you before, but this is the cover again. And I happen to have Craig's book here with me too. I wonder if he has my book with him. We'll have to ask Craig, if you have my book there, get ready to pick it up. Okay, you would tease me before. Now I'm teasing you. Do you have mine? If not, we have to take care of that. But I believe very strongly in introducing children to poetry and the arts. I'm an educator, and I always held situations for my children in the schools where they can share their poetry. When I was an assistant principal in New York, we used to have poetry day, and all of the children would have an opportunity to share a poem that either they wrote or that they loved a lot. So they didn't have a pressure of having to write one themselves. They could share one that they loved a great deal. And I think that's really important because the arts have to be in the lives of children. And as an educator, that's something that I've always pushed for. And so it's a pleasure for me to have my own book now to share with everyone. Nelson spoke a little bit before about this renaissance that's happening in Rhode Island now, and it is so true. Everywhere you look, there are so many open mics and opportunities to share your art and your poetry. It wasn't like that as much, I believe, when I first moved here. I moved here 15 years ago, and I didn't see as much of it then, but there's every other night now, you have a great opportunity to share your arts. And I really, really appreciate that's happening here in Rhode Island. And I'm super proud to be a part of it. So, so Craig, what else would you like me to talk about while I'm here? Well, while he's waiting for him to come back, I'll talk about some of my other work.
Hold on, let me check something.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So it seems like I have to mute you each time I want to talk. Let me see something. I'm gonna know if you're the one who's making trouble here. Nelly Nez. No, I mute you for a minute, Clarise. Nelly Nez, just say something else.
Hello?
And you're not echoing Nelly Nez. Let me see something real quick. So yeah, here we are on screen. So Nelly Nez, you see, it's probably someone was saying, Clarise, maybe your phone is near to your speakers, or I don't know what's going on there. Or maybe you have your YouTube channel open up while you're doing the live. But for some reason, whenever time I unmute you, we be echoing. So, Clarise, you have been an author for, well, Nelly Nell says he's not ready to put a book out because you want the content to be perfect and not be erased. And we will see a book from Nelly Nell's in due time. But Clarise, for you, is this your first book? You are also, is it a teacher or a school principal? How has it been for you with your book in schools? Is this your first book? And, what's it like promoting your works all over? Because I see you all over the place doing all types of readings and all that. Tell us more about, the book. How did you came to start writing that book? Is it your first book? And how has it been since you be performing? I don't want to sound too hasty with all these questions in one, but it's just that we can't be chatting at the same time. But I hope you can remember. So I will now mute and let you talk.
And, I'll tell you, before I read a poem about not ceasing to seize the moment. I finally got it out. And I decided that I had to do that for myself. So a couple of years ago, I collected all the poems that I've been writing for years. And I spoke, and I put them all together and I organized the book. And I chose the cover myself. And I said, okay, now what am I going to do? How am I going to promote it? Because I could write a book and it could end up on the shelf, and that could be, basically where it is. So I says, well, I got to get out there. So I made a Facebook page for myself, Clarise Annette Brooks -author, and I started making videos. You showed one before from there, and I would send it out to the public, direct it to different places, because you could do that on YouTube so that it could hit like lots of different spaces. And I got a lot of feedback. Oh, I'm waiting for your book to come out. I'm waiting for your book. So it came out shortly thereafter, and I signed up for every single open mic that I could possibly get to. Every single one in Rhode Island, some in Massachusetts, Connecticut, New Jersey, everywhere I could. And then because it was still kind of semi-pandemic time, I was able to do, there were a lot of them that were online. So I was able to do a lot there as well. So I just did every single one, and people started to follow and ask me for this poem. Can you read that poem? They would write letters to me saying, that this poem that you wrote meant so much to me. I shared it with my mother. This poem reminds me so much of my brother. I've had teachers who contacted me saying, I've read this poem in your class to speak with my students. One teacher told me that she bought copies of the book for the school library. And I also went out to libraries in Rhode Island, and I brought a copy of my book, and I said, hey, would you be willing to carry my book? And right now it is in 3 libraries in Rhode Island, and hopefully more very soon. When I was in New York visiting my mother, I went to some of the libraries in New York, and the library that I would sit and read and for hours and hours and hours as a child is it's in there as well, and they featured it. And I may be going there to do some spoken word as well, from the book. So that's just how it starts, and I just started right here. This is my daughter's old room. When she went off to college, I kind of turned it into my little space here. And it started right here with one of those little things that you could put your phone in so that it doesn't shake when you record, whatever it's called, a little phone stand. And now I'm getting messages from all over the world. So I really, it's something, it's an easy thing. It's easier to do now than it was years ago, I would imagine, because now with social media, you can reach anybody on the planet. You know about that. So if you want to share your work, I suggest that you also set it to people I got this just this morning. I got messages from someone in Ghana.
Wow.
Okay. I get messages from people in England. A woman in Italy sent me a message saying, hey, I saw some of your poems, and when your book came out, I bought it right away. And I'll bet I'm the first person on the continent of Europe to have your book. She sent me that message. So you can do it. It's really, put your stuff together, organize it. You can have somebody read it and, go over, little edits and things like that if you like, or one of the poetry writing groups or something, and you can put it together, and your work can be shared around the world because it's universal. What you spoke about, Nelson, in your poem, a mother wanting to give something special to her son and coming home from work, being tired and still wanting to make sure that her children had a delicious meal. And it's universal. It's universal, and every single mother on this planet could identify with that, Nelson. That's why I love that poem so much. I love that poem of yours. So, I think that if it's even in the back of your mind, push it to the front of your mind and get those little things done. It's right there, especially now also with being able to publish independently. I'm going to tell you something. When I wanted to get this book published, I contacted a publishing company. I'm not going to say the name of the publishing company because they rejected me. Okay. They rejected my book. So I was like, okay, fine. I decided then I'm going to publish this myself. And I actually kind of self-published it because I went to Stillwater River Publications here in Rhode Island, and they put the book on Amazon, on KDP, and for the online places to purchase my book, they did it for me, because when I tried doing it, it was going all over the place on the page. So they did it for me, and they did a fabulous job. Stillwater River Publications. They have a bookstore called Stillwater Books here in Rhode Island. So anyway, when I had done so much advanced promotion for my book on my Facebook page, at open mics, emailing, everything. I did so much that the week that it came out, it shot to #1 on Amazon in its category. It was placed in the category of Black and African American poetry. The paperback version hit #1. The listening version, I'm forgetting the name of it right now. When you can just, I'm sorry, not the listening version. The Kindle version. Thank you, Craig.
Yeah, I saw it.
The Kindle version hit #4, and the hardcover version hit #7. So I was #1, #4, and #7 on Amazon the same week. And the book that came behind mine, that was in #3, was from the publishing company that had rejected my book. And my book had 3 spots in the top 10 position. So it just goes to show you there's no reason for you to stop. There's no reason for you to not go forward. Someone rejected you at first. That's okay. That's on them. They had 1 book in the top 10 that week, and it was 2 spots behind mine. And I did it myself. So every single one of you can do it yourself. This is not some, secret or anything. I'm always happy to share. I learned from other poets. I learned from other writers, and I'm happy to share that.
Thanks very much for that, Clarise. It's really inspiring. And as I see, Lori says a message. Well, it seems like Lori taking up the whole of the chat space. It's all her name all over. But that's her supporting. This is an excellent message to authors. So to us authors. So she did not exclude herself out. She's also an author, poet. I'm still waiting for her to accept my invitation of wanting to be on the TDP show. And I'm sure Clarice, Nelson, Vlad and Shamari and everyone wants to see her on the TDP whenever she braves up herself and decide, because she doesn't even like to be on screen on her own show. So I hope she just get brave and say, hey, let's do this, Amaziyah. Well, anyway, it's always a pleasure hearing your story. It's always a pleasure. We had our first long conversation about 2 or 3 nights ago, and the things that we discussed was really inspiring. It was really phenomenal. I would want you to do one of the poems I told you I would want you to do, but before you do that, I'm going to holler back at Nelly Nels and allow him to do the piece that I said he could do. But before that, Nelly Nels, Shamari has a message, and he says, as someone who is working on my first book, this was really great to hear. Thank you, Clarice. Clarice with the quality, with the clarity. Clarice and clarity, they sound all clear. Anyway, Nelly Nels, what's good?
All right, so and thank you so much for that, Clarice, because I'm doing my research on putting a book together, but to be quite honest with you, I have more ideas than so it's just like I'm just kind of waiting to let it all settle down, But that's a great message. And so the next piece I'll do is it means a lot to me. It's fairly new. I've done it a few times, but I keep changing it. Like I keep distilling it, trying to make it its purest form. And it's called Gringo, which is pretty much like a non-Hispanic, like a white boy, So it's a story about making sure that we pass on our tradition and our culture to our children, or else they might grow up not knowing where they came from. My grandfather used to call me Gringo he was Dominican, so he would like say it in a funny way, like gringo, laughing. But pretty much the message was my grandson who doesn't speak Spanish, my grandson who doesn't understand me. So kind of growing up kind of made me feel a little disconnected from my Hispanic heritage. So let's go gringo. I'm half Dominican and half Puerto Rican, but I barely speak Spanish. My Spanish was so bad, my grandfather used to call me gringo. It started when I would visit my grandparents. I'd greet my grandmother speaking some broken down Spanish or Spanglish.
Blessings and respect.
And my grandfather would hear me from his bedroom. He would come out in some tidy-whitey underwears with his extremely large ears and his boisterous voice. He'd smile at me and he would say, "Gringo!" every time. Now, for those that don't know, gringo is defined as a non-Hispanic American, and that word was created when the US military was marching through Mexico wearing green coats. The Mexicans would yell to them, "Green, go home. Green, go home. Green, go. Green, go." Those Mexicans believed that those non-Spanish speaking Americans didn't belong there, which makes me ask, what about non-Spanish speaking Latin Americans? Do I not belong here? And where do I go home to when home doesn't accept you as one of their own? Am I homeless? Well, little me went walking into that family home, my grandmother telling me that she has all sorts of Cheerio for me, because that's what gringos eat. When they don't like salami con mango y queso frito, we eat Cocoa Pebbles, Fruity Pebbles, Apple Jacks. You know, the American stuff. So I'd be at that kitchen table speaking to my grandmother in my broken Spanish or Spanglish, and without fail, that bedroom door would open and out would come that man whose voice was as loud as his ears were large. He would stand there with a big smile on his face. He would look at me and say, "Gringo!" But it never felt good. Maybe that was my fault for not connecting with my roots more. My Puerto Rican mother didn't require me to learn Spanish, and so I didn't. And on my block, we listened to more Wu-Tang Clan than to bachata. And even though he was just teasing me, that word punctuated the disconnect that I felt from my heritage. And my grandfather died well before the gringo concept did. I just watched my fellow Dominicans at the parade waving their flags, feeling a pride I'm not sure I've ever gotten to feel in my life. And I'm still processing my place with my people, so I know I have a lot to learn about my history. So I will continue to speak my broken Spanish or Spanglish until it is no longer broken and until I am no longer a stranger amongst my own people. And on that day, somewhere, I'll hear my grandfather's voice yell out, "Gringo!" And as I eat this bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, I'll smile. Thank you.
They say it's a free world, free speech. Fear not. If you've got your story to share, there's a global audience anticipating to hear. Be bold, be truthful, tell them precisely. Join us on youtube.com, Great Amaziyah, for the TDP show, Sundays at 5 p.m. And this is not about just interviewing artists only, but we want to interview everybody. Players of instruments, comedians, poets, actors, actresses, dancers, people with talents who now get fair share. And remember, it's all about honesty, the truth about your opinion. We want the world to know. Amaziyah the Great.
Hey viewers, my name is Jillian Murray, the CEO of Catch It From the Roots. Continue to watch the TDP show. Like, subscribe, and definitely share this video. Thank you.
You caught me. All right, so I don't see Amaziyah here. There you go. How you guys doing? Amaziyah, can you hear me? I think you're mute.
Oh my gosh. All those remarkable things I said, it was never heard. So let me see if I can do it over again. I was saying, Nelly Nels, we are anticipating that book, even though we're not in so much of a hurry. Shamori, as Clarise said, many people along with herself and even me myself, waits to see what inside that book of yours. You have our support because in this space here, we tend to, show our love and support. And that's the story. While I talk about books, I was saying, Clarice, I've not gotten your books. I don't know if you saw the comment yet, but next time you see me, make sure you have it on you because I would want to grab it same time while you do that autograph thing. And let me also take some time to brandish my book on screen. It's Don't Cry by Craig A. Kirkland, and I also am a self-published author. I did it through Amazon KDP. And sometimes, listen, you don't even have to have money because they gave me a barcode, even though they takes more percentage of my book revenue, but it's just to get the start. Because when I was in New York and I call Antonio Valera, I call Empress Poetry, I call Lionel Sheila, I called Rasatiba. Those were some poets who already had books out. And I asked, and they say, yeah, you can do it. And people need to hear you. And I will just always tell anyone, you can. So I put all my poems together, and Antonio Valier helps me to, she tell me about Amazon KDP. And when I did, I just follow the steps, and that was it. And it's everywhere. So it's all about getting up and get it done. It will take time because this book wasn't written in a few months. It was poems I had over the years. I attempt start my second book, and I am probably in the middle of it so far. But the journey continues and we never stop. We keep going and going and going like that Energizer Bunny. We go hard for what we want and we never do nothing funny. Great ways the gateway while the sunshine we make. Hey, I'm gonna do a quick poem real quick before Clarice do that poem she wrote for me before she even met me, but it's my poem. Anyway, in this mind of mine, I took time to find more time to be fine. As my thoughts incline and climb on I refuse to let either drain energy from I. Nelly Nels. Monsters are creeping, thinking I'm sleeping. I'm fully awake, 4 decades bleeding. Fighting while smiling, even while I'm weak. The journey continues, even while I'm bleeding. You'll never make it. I ignore their speaking. Their fiction is sitting on the misleading. Persuasion, invasions, beasts and zombies trying to control me but can't understand me. Be silent. Shh. I fight without violence. Spoken words subdue you like a hostage tyrant. I am your children's children. History assignment. Writing myself in the future with provoking highlights to capture your eyesight. I need you to understand me. It's pointless you try and ban me. I'm fueling the world with words like bright lights. Clarice. I write what I like. Whether or not you like, it's my choice. I'm greater than your thought. Tell them precisely. the fight continues, and there are many others just like me. Yeah. So before you start, Clarise, let me see what the comment section is saying. Maybe, okay. I think your girl was telling me I'm muted. Okay, well, I'm not muted. Shamari was saying he loved that piece that you did, Nelly Nels. Your girl was saying such a powerful piece. I don't know if that's for me or that's for any one of you. Joyce Lynn said, I think this is your family?
That's my sister.
Sister, how are you doing, sister? Blessings and respect. Thanks for tuning in to the TDP show. Tell them precisely. Big respect to everybody who jumped in and joined the live. People over here on the TikTok and people over here on the YouTube. Let me big up Nelly Nell's sister Joycelyn, and let me big up his woman Mel. Let me big up Lori. Let me big up Shamori. Let me say big up to Clarice. Oh, Clarice is already here. Big up Clarice. It's a pleasure having you here. But I'm going in the comment section. Who else is here in the comments? Cassie. Who else is here? Well, everybody who is there, because it's a lot of comment, and this woman called Lori takes about 95% of the comment section. So I'm scrolling through and I can't find more people. But everybody who has been here, maximum respect and thanks. Now, without further delay, I really need the audience to hear the poem that Clarice wrote for me.
This poem, but can you hear me now? Okay, I'm going to read this poem that Craig loves so much. But before I do, just for 1 minute, I hope that you could see this picture. It's hard to tell which side I'm on. I hope you can see this picture right here. It's a picture of me and James Baldwin, the writer. And I met him. I had the pleasure of meeting him many years ago when I was in London, when I was very, in my early 20s. And he took the time to sit and speak with me. And that was a huge moment in my life. And it just goes to show, it doesn't matter. Nobody's a bigger poet than anybody else or a bigger writer than anybody else. We're all in this together. It's a big family of writers, and we appreciate each other. And whatever we can give to each other, we give to each other. If James Baldwin could take the time to sit and talk with a 21-year-old about her goals and her writing, every single writer can. So Amaziyah, I almost call you Craig, Amaziyah. I appreciate what you're doing tonight so much. This is such a wonderful opportunity. And you do this every single week for writers and artists and actors and everyone. This is bigger, I hope, than you may even realize. So I appreciate it. And I appreciate you inviting me to be here today. Nelson, I love your work, and I hope to see you a lot more often, one New Yorker to another. So we'll cross paths again very soon, I hope. So this poem is called I Was Once Here, and Amaziyah has claimed it as his poem. So I dedicate this to you, Amaziyah, to thank you for this opportunity tonight. It's called I Was Once Here. When I go away, as we all must do, may I leave a part of me with you. May I leave my words and thoughts behind for you to sometimes keep in mind. May I leave my love upon these pages so that they may span across the ages. Perhaps you'll find wisdom amongst the words or encouragement within a verse. Maybe you'll read them from time to time and tap to the rhythm or sway to the rhyme. Or perhaps your soul may need fulfillment, and you'll find reading them is time well spent. So if I leave my words, my gift right here, these thoughts I've shared that are so sincere, Then even when I am gone for many a year, all will know I was once here. Thank you.
Tell. Okay, hold on. Yes. Can you hear me? Yeah. It's that Clarise there with that echo thing. Yeah, I can hear me now. I love it. I really do appreciate it. Someone is saying something about you. She says inspiration. Love that, Clarice. So that's from Cassie. Yeah. Nelly Nels, what do you think about that piece that she wrote for me?
I think it's amazing. I think I would claim that piece too if I were you. That piece is now called Craig.
It's amazing. As I said, Clarice, the space we have here is really remarkable, and it's always fascinating how we can collab and do things. We don't necessarily have to wait until we are in one space because the digital space is there. It can't be filled. So we will always be happy to, put our contribution of kindness, of gratitude, of empowerment to the wider world. And, this is every Sunday thing. So I'll be having Shamari soon. I'll be having Orange also soon. I'll be having everyone who is in our circle and beyond, because it's not even about just us. It's about, creative body of people all over the world. I will take this moment in time to say, all you viewers out there, please do subscribe and share. Even when you're not on the show, tune in to the TDP show Sundays at 5 p.m. Feel free to share it with your friends. Tell them to subscribe because we are actually, fueling out positive vibration out there in our society. You get me? Okay. I was just reading something, but I just realized that's from you, Clarice. This was so much fun. I'm glad I was a part of it. I will still ask you guys both to do one more upon request. Nelly Nels, I think you have one about your co-worker, if you don't mind.
No, I can't do that one because
okay, we're in a wide space. Okay. Never mind then. Never mind, my friend. If you would do one more poem as it relates to, I don't know if you have anything on our youth, because that is one thing I always emphasize on. Anything you would say to them, if you don't have it in a poem, you can just say it out in words. But if you have another piece you would like to say, I did say I'm going to do half an hour over, but we gone actually, 2 minutes over the half hour over. But it's our show, it's our space. YouTube won't kick us out like other network do. So Nelly Nels, if you have that one piece, I'm gonna go to another break, but think about it. If you don't have that piece, you can give us words of encouragement, and then you can make your big ups to all you want to send big ups to, and we can start wrapping it up. But before you do that, let me do this. Again, me tell you thanks for tuning in to the show. TDP with Amaziyah the Great, and you should know. I'm going to drop a quick poem for you. It's called Life is Like. For some, life is like a game, so they play all day. For some, life is like a puzzle, they get lost along the way. As for me, my life is a journey. I could talk about that all day. I give thanks for life. I live to see another day. Tell them precisely.
Here, on the road, say my mother over one girl named Keisha.
Shallow star, Keisha.
You know what you mean, mama? Look for the over.
Yes, sir, baby, can't manage. Pull up there now.
For your clothes. I don't know your clothes wrong side. We're kind of there.
Pull the boy.
Yo, let me tell yo, don't ever pass your place. I look for one girl named Keisha, you know see her? Yes.
Anyone with information on the whereabouts of Keisha Brown?
Craig! Come on. Craig! If you feel like say me a go, I'm war in this year. You try to walk me in the door.
Okay, so I don't have a piece on for our youth, but I do have a message for them. So I'd rather give them a message than. So my message to the youth is get out of your head. Whatever it is that you think you can do, but you don't have the self-confidence to do it, start doing it right now. If you are a novice at something today, you have to take that first step to be a pro at it tomorrow. So if you see a buddy of yours doing better than you in something, watch him. Keep going. Keep doing your everything is like jump shots in the park. This is all practice for tomorrow. Do not prevent yourself from sharing whatever your art is, whether it be singing, dancing, writing poetry, being an artist of any type. The world needs you. The world needs every single one of us. We all play a role. We all inspire each other. And if my light shines today, your light shines tomorrow. We light each other's candle. And I really do want to see more people at these open mic events, at every event. Just come, just listen to us, come up, share, give us something. This is how it starts. This is how you start the renaissance that you currently see going. And to those kids, just keep going, one foot in front of the other, and God bless you. That's all I have to say. And for me personally, you'll see me at the end of the month in Outspoken. I'll be at Vlad's event this Tuesday, the Speakeasy, Hide and Speak. You can find me on Instagram. It's NELLE_NEL. If you're new to poetry and you want to get into it, I would suggest starting out at a place. Definitely, Lori would love to see you at Pawtucket Poetry. Show up, sit with some people who care in a safe space and practice your art. And Sarah Lopes, end of the month, Outspoken, A Taste of Culture. A lot of us will be there. We hope to see you there. We're thriving right now, and we want to just keep that going. And I see Amaziyah saying he can't get in. So yeah, since he can't get in, maybe I'll do a piece, but it's gonna be something different. All right, so I want to share something positive. It's called skydiving. Where do forgotten memories go? I want to know, is there a graveyard for unfulfilled dreams? And if so, will my tombstone read, sponsored by Hennessy, because I was busy in the wrong places for the remedy? Except inwards, within myself was the blueprint. So I stopped giving into those thoughts that were intrusive and put them down on that paper with blue ink, because I hope to be a voice that's saying what you think. We run the same rat races for pay that's past basic. So forget another milestone plaque. We need some raises so we can sit in sun rays enjoying some fun days. Instead, I doubt I'll ever retire. But some say we have no other choice but to believe that we're going to make it. So I pushed through the locks and chains and cracked the pavement and stepped out on the other side, feeling amazing. But if we crash land, we'll stand and just embrace it. Don't take my word for it, just take my words in. And join me in this chaotic dance, creating whirlwinds. We can merge like the waters and sands at high tide, or retreat back away from the land and skydive. No, literally, dive into the sky and crash into a comet as it smashes. I'm sorry. No, literally, dive into the sky and smash into a comet as it crash lands onto the moon. I might vomit. I have motion sickness, a fear of heights, plus my anxiety will let me see past those red flags of where I could be. I'm falling through the sky, projecting a shooting star. When somebody makes a wish, I fulfill it. Through these bars, I believe in you. And if you believe in me, we can get together and show this world what they can be. Let's skydive. No, let's dive into the sky as the world wishes on the shooting star of you and I. Thank you. And once again, find me on Instagram, Nellynell, NELLE_NEL. And I really appreciate Amaziyah the Great for this opportunity. And I've loved speaking to Clarise. You're definitely one of my favorite poets, and I can't wait to see you again. And bring another book for me because I want to buy it as well.
Same here, Nelson. I love your work. And I'm going to close out with this piece. It's called Dreams of You. When you look back at us and wonder how we dealt with our dim plight during our days of pain and anguish and night hours brimmed with fright, when you ponder how we sustained it for what was our eternity, how we toiled each day upon this earth, denied humanity. Remember that our one gleam of light, the only hope worth holding on to, were not of dreams that were for ourselves. We carried on for dreams of you. So I say that because there are so many things that our ancestors could not do because they were not allowed to do them. So I say shame on us if we do not take the opportunity to use our voices, to express ourselves in the arts, to share our talents, and to use the gifts that were given to us by God. So I want everyone who has something in them to remember that it is their duty and it is a joy to others to see what is inside of them expressed. And I share that sentiment with all of you. I used to share it with my students, and every day I share it with my own two children, whom I want to give a shout out to, my daughter, Alexa Claire, and my son, Daniel Gervais, who are the stars in the night for me, my two children, and also my husband, Alexander, and my parents, my mother, Judith Brooks, and my father, Gervais Brooks, who's no longer with us, and who was so excited to see my book come out, but who passed away just a month and a half before it was published. But he was so excited for it. And he put that energy into me about do more than your ancestors were able to do. So I'm proud that there's something that I will always be able to leave behind. And Amaziyah, I want to thank you again for this, because I hope you know how big this is. You joined the world today. You joined continents today. You joined people who were across the oceans from each other today. And you gave us an opportunity, a venue to share our voices and our talents and what's in our hearts. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And you can go on calling that poem yours forever.
It's mine. Yeah. So let me close out now. Yeah, so let me mute her for a minute, Nelly Nels, because she's echoing in my ears. Anyway, thanks for having you here, Clarise. It's a pleasure, it's a joy, it's an honor to have every single one of my hosts from Jamaica to here, to Africa, to the UK, to Canada, to the Caribbean, all over the world. I feel welcome, as I mentioned before, meeting new people in Rhode Island here. Kudos goes out to the whole Rhode Island poetry family. Every one of you keeping your events, maximum respect, and do go check out Nelly Nels. Your next performance is at Outspoken? Yes. Remind us the date of when that will be again, Nelly Nels.
The Outspoken is on September 30th. It's between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. Roger Williams, there's a specific thing for it. Hold on.
Yeah, Roger Williams. Yeah. I say salutation goes out to Sarah and the whole Outspoken team just the same. I might be there depending on my availability on that day. I might pass through to the open mic section. Yeah, so Vlad, Orange, Lori, everybody who is in this whole, spoken word, art, poetry, music, entertainment slash, even in New York, just the same, because that's the next place I'll always be when I'm not here. And my Jamaican connections.
It is I'm sorry, it's I didn't wanna it's the
good.
Gateway Center, Roger Williams Park. That's
Yes.
1197 Broad Street.
And Pawtucket Poetry is when the 7th. Just go on the Pawtucket Poetry page. I can't remember so much different things. See, Shamari is reminding us again. Roger Williams, Welcome Center on Broad Street. Yeah. So Shamari, maximum respect. Looking forward to have you here on the TDP show so you can tell them precisely what's going on. I gotta say shout outs to everybody who is here, the audience, the guests over here on TikTok. I see baby girl blasting and tagging and inviting people here on the TikTok. Also, people are here on TikTok. Please go over to when you are on YouTube, you'll get to see everybody. Here on TikTok, you're just seeing nice, handsome me. But over there on YouTube, you got to see some more phenomenal people just the same. You get me? Nels is there with a nice smile, and Clarise is there with a beautiful face, and some other people who were there from Nigeria you missed. So next time, please jump over to youtube.com, Great Amaziyah, hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, so you can tune in. It's every Sunday, all right? So I've said it all. Maximum respect to everybody. It's all love. It's all greatness. Okay, so Shamari says, tell your truth. Who will be the feature that tell your truth? Okay, it's Louis the B.
Louis the B is the feature. He's
We were
amazing.
here last week, Louis the B. We were at Vlad's birthday event, and it's awesome. It's amazing. It's great, amazing talents we have here. One whole bunch people teaming up together doing amazing things. But let me not talk too much. I don't want to keep you here too long. That should be it. Is anyone else have to say? Did I leave out anything? Did
Thank
you
you,
leave out
thank you,
anything?
Amaziyah, for having us, and thank you so much. Anytime, it's amazing.
Okay. Clarice, that's it. Okay, so let me put me on screen now while you be there watching the last part of the live. Yes. So guys, there we have it. The TDP show with yours truly, Amaziyah the Great One, another remarkable Jamaican. Maximum respect to all my audience from all over the globe. It was a pleasure having every single one of you here. It was a pleasure having you who were here previously last week and all the months before and the years before. The TDP show is not new. I used to do it when I was back in Jamaica. Now I'm here. I'm taking it to another level. You get me? So artists, poets especially, Clarice, Nelly Nels, Shamari, whoever is here watching this now and who will see the afterlife, I am still waiting for us to make poetic videos. We got to make poetic. Let's not talk too much about it on social media before someone steals the idea away. Let's link up sometime and let's talk more about this. But in the meantime, I don't want to be talking too much. Thank you so very much.
Okay, viewers, fans, friends, my family, them, subscribers, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Please do feel absolutely free to drop us your comment and be kind to leave a feedback. Yeah, comment, like, share, and tell others about it. And also remember to hit the notification bell if you want to be updated on what's new. Talking about what's new, go and go check out Amaziyah the Great collections. Me have whole heap of merchandise. I'm going with a bag of things. Enough t-shirt designs, don't tell them precisely. Available on Teespring. Enough people are talking about
about it, but go and go look for yourselves. Links will be in the description below. We have tabs for females, males, babies, cups, phone cases, etc. Mr. Go and go look now. Follow Amaziyah, have a great collection on IG, and like us on Facebook. If you haven't watched My Name is Pam before, features my sister Quality. Please do go and go watch it and share it as it relates to domestic abuse against women and a woman's struggle through it to independence. Also remember to check out Amaziyah, the great music on Amazon, Spotify, Tidal, Deezer, Google Play. It's everywhere.